Hey, it's Ayla. Welcome back to Not That Kind of CEO. Let's talk about why real change takes time, especially as a mompreneur juggling business and babies. Because if you've ever felt like you're behind in business or not moving fast enough, this episode is for you. I know what it's like to see everyone on Instagram seemingly leap from 0 to 6 figures in like 5 minutes while you're still trying to finish a sentence without being interrupted by snack requests, and it makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. But here's the thing: sustainable growth doesn't look as sexy on Instagram, but it's what actually lasts in the end. We're going to unpack the real timeline of change, which is longer than you think, the identity shifts that happen along the way, and why it's not just okay for growth to be slow, it's actually smart. You are not failing, you're just in the first phase of change. This episode is all about the mindset shift from hustle to patience. And I promise, once you see it this way, you'll stop beating yourself up and start trusting your own pace. Oh, and if your brain is screaming, where the fuck should I even start? I've got a free 5-day challenge coming up October 20th to help you figure that out and build a 30-day action plan that actually fits your life. The link for that is in the show note. Okay, let's dive in today's episode, unpack the real change, the slow change, and the best change that you can go through as a mompreneur. Thanks for listening. Hi, I'm Ayla, and I am not that kind of CEO. You won't find me in a fancy corner office, but rather in a quiet corner of my home. I followed a bold vision and built my life and business around it. That's how I ended up in France, where I'm raising 2 little girls, renovate our 500-year-old castle together with my husband, run a coaching business, and still have space to breathe. After a decade of helping women simplify their business to make room for what matters most, I created this show to help you do the same. Let's build your business around the life you love. Welcome to Not That Kind of CEO. Hey, welcome back to Not That Kind of CEO. Yes, I'm welcoming you back. I think you were here before, and I think you should come back again. So if you haven't, let me just start with that. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do that. If it ever bugs you in the future, you can always unsubscribe, but subscribing to a podcast actually really helps me to grow it, which is my main goal right now. So if you want to help a girl out to achieve her main goal, hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Today, we are talking about, well, I'm talking, you're listening, but I want you to think of this as well. So that's why I'm saying we. We are talking about the fact that in today's culture, in today's standards, we always seem to think that success or change has to happen overnight. Like, we've been so bombarded with all these transformations online and befores and afters. And I follow a lot of DIY accounts on Instagram because, everyone loves a good before and after. I live in a renovation project. I like to be inspired. But these are women who are like flipping a room in a matter of days. And very often, if you look closely, they're basically putting lipstick on a pig. Like, if here in the castle, for example, if we have a part that's a bit moldy because it's been wet, which, it happens. We have leaky roofs. You don't just go in and throw paint over it and call it a day. You want to actually fix that leaky roof and let the wall dry and, treat the mold before you slap on the paint. And I think that those are steps that in today's culture are very often skipped. What we see online are the highlight reels of someone's day or of someone's business, of someone's home makeover. And it has taught us to believe that any change, any transformation, it just has to happen like that. And for me, it makes me feel like I'm behind. It makes me feel like a failure because, since I just welcomed you back, you already know that I am trying to lose weight. I've been trying to lose weight for a long time now. And it's happening, but it's very slow. And yet I see all these people online that just go, poof, poof, I lost 10 kilos. Like, congratulations. I didn't. I now feel like a failure. And the result of that is that we think that we are the problem. Like if someone else is having a massive and quick transformation, it seems that if you are not capable of doing it, it's you who is the problem. But I think it's actually just this mindset of, everything has to happen fast and just go, go, go. And if you're not living up to that, then, that's on you. You're a big fat failure. The other day, I saw a video by Leila Hormozi, and it just hit me sideways. It was so good. I'll link it up in the show notes because you absolutely need to look at it. We'll be diving into like the core message a bit, but the whole video in itself, absolutely go check it out. What she said is that real change takes 18 to 24 months. And when she said it, I was like, what? And then she explained it further now, and it just makes a lot of sense. The first 6 months of your change, you're basically just fighting old patterns. And for me in business, this really happened where, I started out as a VA, which is very small, very one-on-one, but I've always had the big dream of reaching, thousands of women and creating a ripple of happiness in the world, which I was not gonna achieve by just working one-on-one with people. So over years, I already slowly pivoted to coaching. And then I was like, okay, now I want to take this a step bigger and pivot to English and create a social media, make a podcast, to reach more women. And I think that the first 6 months were just me fighting my own comfort zone of it's really nice to just work one-on-one. And my ego keeps telling me the best change you can make is if you just work one-on-one with a client in their business in a done for you setting where I can just optimize their business and streamline everything and help them one-on-one, because that was safe, that was known. And the change I had to make was, how can I actually grow and help more women with the same thing? And so the first 6 months were just me having massive imposter syndrome and just constantly going, who am I for wanting to change a whole bunch of women? And I had to really get through that and work through that before I could get into the next phase. And then she talks that for the first 6 months, you're fighting old patterns. The next 6 months, you're implementing new patterns. So in my case, that was regular content creation, for example. And what else did I do to make this change happen? Get more English speaking coaching clients to sort of show myself that it's possible. And I joined all kinds of masterminds for people who want to grow their business. It's all these new, instead of just fighting the old, I was now adapting new behaviors to make the change possible. And then she says for the next, say, 12 months, so the whole second year, you're just optimizing that until it becomes automatic. For me, currently, the change I'm currently in is weight related again. Like I've really fought the old me who always had excuses to prevent working out. Then I implemented regular workouts that I like, that fit my schedule, that fit my body, that, fit what I like, my preferences. And now I'm actually in the phase where it's automatic. In the morning, I get into my workout clothes without having to think about it, without having to go, oh, right, today's a workout day. Like I just slip into my workout clothes and I know that I'm going to do a workout in the day. Like it's becoming automatic. And of course, it's possible. And there are tons of people who want to make you believe that you can have the change that you want and like lose all the weight in 10 weeks and build a business that makes 100K in, I don't know, a month. I don't know what they're selling online these days. And I think it could be possible. But I think also that in that case, your whole life has to revolve around that one thing that you're trying to make happen. Like that is the only thing that exists. And if you do it like that, sure, I think change can come faster. But I don't think it's smart. And I don't think it's realistic as well. I think that when you're trying to do it too fast, you're not really anchoring in the change that you're trying to make. So that means, for me, as I already said, the change wasn't just like on the surface, you would look at it like that. A VA is just switching to coaching, switching to a new language. It's a quick change. But in reality, stuff had to happen in my mind to make it possible, to make it be anchored in, to make me believe in myself. And if I would have skipped that step, if I would have just gone, okay, I'm here now and I'm going to reach an audience of millions, I think I wouldn't have lasted. I think I wouldn't have lasted to keep creating the content, keep showing up, because somewhere along the way, you would just suddenly realize what you're doing and just go, my gosh, what am I even trying to accomplish? And you fall back into old patterns. So when you want to create a lasting change, you have to anchor it in, like on a physical level, on a soul level, however you want to call it. And when you do it like that, the change you're making, it takes longer, but it will last longer as well, because it's something that's anchored into your life. And when you do that, you actually understand what you did. Like on a rational level, you understand what you did. They were conscious choices that you made. It was not like a spur of the moment thing and, oh, it didn't work and now I go back. And, you get a bit fleety when you do it like that. But when you really make a conscious choice to make a change and you take it slowly, you understand what you did and you have more chance that it lasts. Another benefit that you'll have is that you stop burning yourself out, because you're not just chasing everything that you just, shiny object syndrome much. You stop chasing things because it's really easy to just say, okay, this does not fit in with the change I'm trying to make right now. So you don't chase it. And by chasing less, you have less chance of burning yourself out. You'll have more focus on the things that you do. When you go slower, you make the conscious choices and you can say, okay, right now I'm in this phase. This is what I want to accomplish right now. And I'm putting my focus on this with better results. More focus is better results. It's just like that. And when you look at the whole picture like that, you could say that when you make a change in this way, you stay in your own power and you won't have a lot of feeling of guilt. Because I think that a lot of mompreneurs experience feelings of guilt for wanting to chase something bigger. They feel guilty because they're like, oh, I'm focusing too much on this big change right now. As I said, if you want to make change fast, perfect, but your whole life has to revolve around it. And when you have kids, that's not an option. You have the change you're making throughout the day, and then suddenly it's pickup time. It's dinner time. You have to show up for your kids. There's a bedtime routine. You can't let all that go and say, no, I'm going to hit the gym another time today, or I'm going to be behind my computer for the next couple of hours. And you kids just have to figure out how you're going to make the dinner yourselves. You cannot do that. You only have a certain amount of hours in the day. If you cannot let your life revolve around the change you're making, it's going to take slower, it's going to take longer, but you also feel less guilt while you're doing it. And I think that's very important for a lot of mompreneurs. So for me, like a small example of this is I recently switched back-end programs. I was on Kajabi first and I switched to Go High Level, which I love, by the way. I'm very glad I made the change. And I figured, you know what, I'm just going to switch systems in 2-3 days tops, and I'm going to have everything over and all my funnels and my freebies and, everything that I have in there is just going to be boop, 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 and I'm going to switch it over. And then 2 weeks later, it still wasn't done. And I started to get into what I described at the beginning, the part where I started to feel like a failure. And why am I taking so long for this? Am I stupid? Am I not tech savvy enough? Me. The problem is me. But what I actually was doing was taking my sweet time to make sure that the automations were transferred perfectly, that everything worked, that when you click something, you get the right freebie and you get into the right email sequence. I just want to make sure that it works. I want to make sure that I understand it as well. So when I hand it over to my VA, I can actually give her a process and say, this is what we do when we have a new podcast episode. These are the steps that we follow. And it's something that I understand, which means that it's sustainable. because I won't get into trouble the next time I want to launch something new because I understand how my system works. And this makes it scalable as well. I can hire someone and say, you are now in charge of all the deliverables. This is how it's set up. I understand this. I know where the KPIs are. I know what I should hand over and what I can expect from someone when they get in. So right now, yes, it takes me longer. And I started to feel guilty about spending a lot of time behind my computer and feeling not fast enough. Like I want to get back into content creation, and here I'm just focusing on the tech stuff, and I should just hire someone for this.
Not that
No.
kind of CEO.
I'm making a conscious choice to switch systems because it's better for my business, in making it sustainable by understanding it, by making it handoverable, and I'm making it scalable because I can just
if you're ready to
hire
build a business
people
that
in
fits
here.
your life,
So
you know where to find me.
the goal
See you
was
in the
not
next
to do it
episode.
fast. The goal was to do it good, and sometimes that takes time. And now I'm perfectly content with that, and I'm happy with my system, and I can build onto this. Anything else I want to say about this? No, I don't think so. I think you got the gist. Real change takes time, and that's fine. It's good. It's better, actually, because you'll anchor it in on a physical level, and that's what you need to make a real change. If you are also one of those people who got sucked into different things and shiny objects, and still at the end of the day, you'll feel like you're reeling and don't know where you are or what you're focusing on, etc., I have my quarterly Where the Fuck Should I Even Start challenge coming up. I say challenge, maybe I should just call it like a boosting week, or I don't know. It's called the Where the Fuck Do I Even Start challenge. It's 5 days where we'll work on getting you clarity on where you want to go, what's taking up your time, how you can manage that, and you walk away with a 30-day action plan to actually get you a step closer to where you want to go. I'm not saying that at the end of the 30 days you'll have 10K months or something like that. You'll have a starting point. You'll know where to go, and after those 30 days you can make clever new decisions and get a step further. But I hear from clients all the time that they don't know where to start, that they're sitting behind their computer in the few hours that they have, and they're just going, I don't know, am I focusing on automations? Am I focusing on social media, content creation, anything like that? Am I just responding to client emails and then my time has flown by? I don't know where to start. So I'm going to help you fix that. This is a free challenge. You'll get it per email every day. I'm deliberately making it short because I know you're short on time to start with. So, 20, 30 minutes a day. And at the end of the day, you'll have a 30-day plan. And I'm going to put the notes. No, I'm going to put the link in the show notes. And then you can just click on it and subscribe. And 20th of October, you'll get the first day email and you can get started. So I really hope to see you in there, and I hope I can help you to start figuring out where the fuck you can start. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.